world, really. The banks, Rothschild, and the Rothschilds don't live. They live in West. They live just outside of West London. They don't live far from London, the Brighton. You know what I mean? So that they're travelling. Like if you check out where Waddesdon Manor is, it's just outside of West London. It's not far. So, and he's always walking around West London. That Jacob Rothschild. People catch him and all that, just walking around. Do you know what I mean? Catch him coming out of buildings and all that. They got a bank, they got their own bank, obviously they own the banks, but then they got a Rothschild's bank. It's got an acronym, I can't remember what the Rothschild and Co. So what's the acronym? So it's like, RFC, that's the one.
To show the Bible talks about conspiracy theorists, not Alex Jones. Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows with even bitter words. And the bitter words can be deemed like policy, because by policy, that's redlining is an example when you deal with J. Cole in America. Those are different things that put together to say, okay, we're going to keep these niggas out of the way by doing these things. Various different things, the war on drugs, all these type of things. That's that bitter words. Verse 4.
Yeah, you saw all his policies, like you said, whether he's doing some dodgy snake on hand tactics or whatever he's doing, but a lot of his stuff is policies. This legislation, the guillotines are going to be legislation. Martial law is legislation. People think, oh no, it's not. Yeah, he said it's part. The Apostle Paul going into the army act, they got army overriding acts of guillotines, man. And people that they got there. Right.
If he was to come back.
Right. So he said he would enact what's there in that constitution or whatever.
And another thing is,
or whatever, if it's in the constitution or not, man.
The brother, sorry, it's like the brother was speaking about foresight before. So before, you would say, well, how are you going to get your head beheaded? That's not in the legislation. No sign for this is what you're going to have the foresight. Hold their really back.
I'm going to say, because these things that they pass years before. And you won't hear about them again. And you forget about them. And then when it's time to put them into play, it's already there waiting to go. You people are like, what's going on? But you already passed it.
You know what's funny, bro? A lot of the people that mention it, these whistleblowers, because the average people, they're not fucking seeing all that. There's always some weird whistleblower. The Edomite on the internet, the Edomite man or woman, you know what I mean? She's got long grey hair, she lives in the fucking midst of nowhere, she's going into all this info, man. Fuck, you know all that? A lot of them are whistleblowers, like some of them are insiders, man. You know?
And it's set up to be the opposing side. Like so they can do the jump shield.
Controlled opposition, all of that. It's okay, let's read something.
I've got a bit more. It says, verse 5, Psalm 64:5. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities.
Who shall see them? Nobody. When you get into that spooky stuff, the Illuminati, it's all spooky basically. I mean, that's the hidden hand. What you're seeing in society in the forefront. They hide themselves, man. People just walking down the street, but they hide behind corporations, legislations, all of that. But the people that we're dealing with, they're straight out witches, warlocks. If you want to not get spooky, don't say it. Go ahead, man.
Verse 6, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them.
Yeah, because they build things on ley lines. We're getting into spooky shit. They build stuff on ley lines, man. Now we remember the Thames River. There's ley lines up there, and they've got the Egyptian obelisk. You got the Egyptian statue. There's the Sphinx. You got the London Eye, man. They just built
Cleopatra's Needle.
Cleopatra's Needle and all that. And they built, and now Cleopatra's Needle is in where? The Free and Clean France. I'm sure it is right. Well,
Yeah.
one's in New York. I think it's in New York, or one's in New York. But New York's really like a capital of America. Anyway.
Washington Monument.
So you got the Washington Monument.
I know there's one
Was
in
that
France
DC?
as
No,
well.
that's Washington.
Yeah, that's
So it is.
DC, yeah.
So it is.
DC,
so it's in the
London,
Free and
and
Washington.
Oh, and they got one
I think it's
in
Italy.
in
Roman
Italy as well.
Catholic
Yeah,
Church,
Vatican.
Roman Catholic Church.
with the sun
The
symbol
financial,
all
the
around
religious,
the one
and
in
the
the Vatican.
political, yeah.
So you got the Free. So you got London, Washington DC, and the Vatican.
Yeah,
So
the
they've got
religious.
them in the Free and Clean France, man. And so that's channeling witchcraft.
Yeah.
That's that. So come
From
on.
the Roman Empire.
And how did this information come out through the Spirit of the Lord? You can't come against the Spirit of the Most High. Nothing you can do. You can't bury this. You can't hide the Spirit of the Lord, man. You know, there's many scriptures like in Psalms and stuff and all that. You know, stuff like that, man. Anyway, what we got? Let's carry on.
For I'll read verse 7 and 8.
Go on.
But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
So the fact that they've exposed themselves helps us at the end of the day. It's true. Their power is in secrecy, man. Like Wizard of Oz and all that. They always be, you know what I mean? People get dangled on strings. You know, but we got help by the Most High through prophecies, Ezekiel 37.
Huh.
So it's really the Spirit of the Lord that helps us. You know?
And then that's how guys like Alex Jones come into it. Man.
Yeah.
He's
Well, you know, there's people, boys, motherfucking ass.
Yeah.
William,
Ezra Pound and,
John Todd and all that.
Yeah.
Georgia Maxwell, all that. You know what I mean? Some other ones.
The Most High, that's
He's a
prophecy.
new dude, really.
Their own tongue shall fall upon
There's
themselves.
another guy, Tupac, his last name is Mononox or something like that. Yeah, he's
There's a lot of these cats, man. No, you might be, there's a lot of these cats, bro. I can't remember all these cats, man. I can't even remember all these cats. Yeah, there's a lot of these cats. There's someone called certain nuts. There's Marlon.
Yeah.
There's another one.
This is Isaiah
I'm not
19,
mistaken, you know what I'm saying? I'm mistaken. No.
Isaiah 19 and 3. And the spirit of Egypt, about the obelisk and that stuff, proving that this is modern day Egypt, America. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to their idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards.
So when Esau's going through his shit's getting fucked up, what is he? Is he praying to the Most High? No, he's praying to Apollo, Hermes, you know what I'm saying? Boppo, man. That's what he's doing. That's what he's fucking doing that, man. But you won't see that, you're not gonna see that. That's why they're the secret council of the wicked. And it's come out that these motherfuckers are doing all sorts of shit through the leaks. Yeah, the leaks. What was that? No. He read the tongue shall fall upon themselves. That's the leaks. The spiritual leaks. They're the leaks, man. That was you know, like the leaks of the song or something like that. That was she got leaked.
Example, you know that I had a dream. Remember you saying that we had a dream like that? You did a video about Rothschild's leaks, basically just panicking, all kinds of rich things. They were losing it basically. It was in a mansion. You saw inside the mansion from outside. You saw that they were just basically cutting up people there, that sacrifice. They were just losing their mind basically. They were trying to get ready for this new world order. So that's the time that we're coming into, where we're going to start getting into panic mode and start just doing stuff that are more, outrageous things.
Now it's down in Charles.
Yeah. Baphomet's not going to answer them after a while, like I said. The demons that they worship under the hooks. That's what honestly.
Got a point.
So this was precepts.
Yeah, so precepts out that the scriptures and stuff. Isaiah 47.
Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that ye have but a short time.
That's right, man. That's why they're pushing through all these legislations. You know, they're not, you know, the Queen's dead, bro. That's a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge. Because
yeah.
the Queen was a symbol of British colonialism, the British Empire. That, you know, all these jakes are all mad at, you know, you used to have Benjamites, man, saying "Bun the Queen" in their reggae. Hugh Mundell did it. All of them. Hugh Mundell, that was one hell of a Rasta. You're Benjamin and all that. Hugh Mundell. And there was some other dudes. There was "Bun the Queen" and all that, man. There's videos of random Benjamites in the hills saying that. So the Queen was a symbol of major colonialism. You know? She was the face of major colonialism.
Stamps and all of that.
Yeah.
And then you have Evelyn Rothschild as well.
He's got no one talks about that. So that's a mystery.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean? You don't even know what to think or say about that.
Like peacefully at home. That was it.
They didn't make a big thing about it. So they must be pissed off.
These are secret things.
Yeah. So no one knew. We wasn't popular.
This whole shit.
That one was, that was personal. That one was personal.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Queen
saying?
walk my legs out this week.
That one's real personal, but the Queen, she's like, she had Benjamites come over here. And, you know, and that's the Queen of Heaven. If it was a male, they probably wouldn't have came over and did all that shit. But they used the Queen. That's why all these Benjamites, yeah, man, gonna build up Britain and all that. Because it was a female. She was young. If you watch the video, she was young and all that. Playful. She was looking all nice. When she was younger and all that, she had a different kind of look. So you know, Benjamin, oh, she's so pretty. You know, look at the going out and build England. You know what I mean? So a lot of them come over and did all that. And then they were getting, when they came over, what was it? No blacks, no dogs, no Irish. How about that? That's what they got. Yeah.
Places for shit. Well, they came over, they come to understand, you know, the British Edomite is a racist bastard.
When I was growing up, I can say,
Even to this day.
I can say when I was growing up, I remember getting chased by this. It was called the National Front.
Yeah, of course.
All up in East London, Hackney, all that around that area. My parents' generation, talking about the Windrush, that my parents come over here to build up Babylon, right? Or the Monroe Babylon. And when we was growing up, we had to be really vigilant. Because if you got chased, and we got chased a couple of times, me and my brothers and friends, when we was young, chased. Huh? Huh?
Don't say you.
I'm going up there, man. I'm going. It's like when my parents came over, that was the time the Windrush. Now they're talking about the going back. So we had to fight, man. And then a couple of times we had to fight, literally fight, get physical with the East, them, you know, the National Front. And a couple of times we beat them up too.
Skinheads.
Some of the Benjamites, we was in a rave. Right? Just the quick testimony. We was in a rave, right? Some sound clash thing, right? And we was looking at me and my brother was looking out the window. I was young, right? Let's say under 15, right? Very young. Looking out the window, seeing a whole heap of National Front outside with batons, baseball bats, and bin lids, waiting for us for the rave to die. But we knew we had some them days there's some bad man, like Benjamite bad man, had a reputation. I won't say the name, but the brothers, the so-and-so brothers. So anyway, we carried on raving. We thought it was going to be all right. And when the rave done now, music cut off. The two Benjamite brothers just rushed them. Right, everybody just rushed them. Right? We came out. They had batons, They had shields and everything, batons, baseball bats. We just rushed them and they shift.
And me and my brother ended up having to get crawl all the way under cars to get home. But we got home. But that was the spirit of the Most High protecting us even through a lot of them things that we was going through, you know.
Yeah.
They were back then, the fucking cops would fuck your ass up. You know what I mean? You couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
They would fuck you up, you know what I mean? The police would fuck your ass up.
Yeah, sus. They was called it sus
sus,
when
yeah,
they
sus.
didn't like the look of you. They had that excuse called sus because maybe he's a suspect or something. So we could just frisk him and search him, and we had to go through a lot of that too.
Look at that. Yeah. More than that. Yeah. Go on, let's read.
Isaiah 47:10. But thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments.
So the Lord said that evil's going to come upon this kingdom. So this place is, people are getting fucked up, and they're going to get fucked up, man. Like bad things going to happen to the civilians of these countries. You know, read that part again. Evil shall come upon thee, and you shall not even know where it came from. Like, the civilians are going to be getting fucked up. Oh my God, fuck, you know what I mean? What the fuck and all that shit. That's what's going to happen. Or is it something happening?
Yeah, some guy jumped up.
All these fucking, you know these faggots, man. Right here, man. The fucking faggots, bro. But you know what? But they're going to get jacked up. They're going to get jacked up. Read that, man.
Isaiah 47:11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail.
So everything he saw, this masonry and his, what did they do in America? Lynching Jakes, burning Jakes, did it all over the Caribbean, all that. You know, that's what they did. You have to pay for that. That's one of the reasons why America's going to be fucking burnt with nuclear fire, man. That's one of the reasons, you know. That's one of the reasons, man. It's going to be fucking burnt. And then a nuke, just a nuke might hit fucking London. The nukes are going to be trading. Certain places ain't going to get hit. Neutral kind of places in But London, you can see that. What Russia said threatened London.
Yeah.
UK, threatened like, it's one of the main spots. Everybody knows that. They're like, you know what, you're getting it too. Fuck you. You know what I mean? The UK and USA, what do they do? They send aid to their small hats. And all they do, every time a prime minister gets in power, like Liz Truss, she was in there for 5 minutes. One of the first things, she's in a big room talking about, giving aid to Amalek, supporting Amalek. She was just in there.
She had 6 weeks.
6 weeks, and she already give aid to Amalek. But for the country, she couldn't do fuck all.
I know you probably heard a conversation up north, someone said, the country.
Yeah, a lot of things, bro.
Minding and complaining.
Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
Yeah, so they're going to try and consult witches, man. It's not going to work out. They're going to go by the stars aligning, and the stars ain't going to align for them. The only way the stars are aligning is for the destruction. That's what it's going to align at.
That about the precept.
You know what I'm saying? Alright, bring it.
This is
The only way that's going to align is them getting their asses torn up.
This is on Numbers 33, verse I start with verse 33. The 35 of the slot. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
There you go. So if you all that lynching and all that shit, and everyone says, "Oh, get over it," no, you can't get over it. It doesn't work that way, man. And it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't long ago. That's in the flesh. In the flesh, you can talk that shit because in the flesh, you could have a child and he's like going to be 20 and he's just bullshitting. You don't know anything that's going on around him. You've grown him up to like be a fucking degenerate. Like he's just taking drugs and he's just partying. He don't know anything about the world. Are you gonna take his fucking stance on political issue or anything or the climate of the world? He's not. He's a fucking lunatic. So that's the same with the Most High. All this history that's happened. You can't just say, "Oh no, yeah, nah, you can't fucking do that, man." And it ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You got Jakes that their granddad was in slavery, man, or their granddad was lynched, their dad's dad. Straight out, they were motherfucking lynching and burning motherfuckers in the 60s. There's information on that in the South. People are getting burned. Oh, that was just the South, no, it wasn't. Okay, do you think the crimes of Esau? There's things that he's done that we don't even know. How about that? They're called the secret council of the wicked. Do you know are you there with every ritual that they're doing? You don't even know what they're doing. They could kidnap a child and have like they could drag celebrities there and have a Jake baby there, torture it and kill it and have everybody watching. So how do you know they're not doing that? If you believe in this truth and you believe they're the wicked, then you gotta know that that's what they're on. If you watch any fucking video on Illuminati, that shouldn't be far-fetched to your ass. Now if it is, then you're a fucking demon yourself, and you're a liar, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Well, the scriptures say that wickedness have reached the heavens or something like that. The sins of that's how, you know what I'm saying?
All that's still exposed now.
Yeah.
All the because like I remember Pizzagate when that came out, everyone was saying like, oh, it's just made up as a conspiracy. Then like how many years later it's coming out in Hollywood, oh, everyone's getting pimped out. All these different things going on behind the scenes. Yeah. And now all of a sudden everyone didn't say, okay, Pizzagate was true. They just shut up about it. And it's like multiple times on the BBC it came out, the foster care system that came out in the Vatican. Bro, there's cases like every other day about, oh yeah, there was boys getting popped, there was this, that happening, we sent them to the countryside. So there's all these rings, there's what's the big one, Jimmy Savile? Yeah, over here. There's all these rings.
What's it with the yesterday? Epstein and all that.
Yeah, all that.
I was watching a documentary on Prince Andrew and all that.
Yeah.
And it because he had high profile people. And she's not. I don't believe she's in jail. But someone was saying that because I watched it and she was like, it was because they asked her, it was her family. They asked her, oh, they got that mural in jail. It was like a nice painting, and she was like, oh yeah. And you know, I said, nah, man, they're not good. I don't believe that.
She was an associate.
She wasn't fucked up. She wasn't fucked up. What if you watch the jail footage? She's there like with her family in the documentary, and they're trying to get her out, and she's going, yes, proud and that. I was like, come on, man, she ain't fucking jail, man. She went in jail. There was a mural behind her, and she said, come on, man, come on, man, it's a stunt.
I got a precept.
That's just the way I look at it anyway.
What you got to
Go ahead, just quickly research
Nahum 3 and 4. It's a couple verses that I really because of the multitude of the whoredom, because of the multitude of whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, that setteth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Yes, so basically the Esau Edom, there's a doctrine that have outlined to the masses of people, image of the beast, everyone subscribes to it. They think they're just innocently following democracy, women's rights, all this type of stuff, but it's witchcraft, right? Abortion.
And you know what's crazy? Ireland only legalized abortions about 4 years ago, 2019. Scotland, it was only illegal to hit a woman about 2 years ago. So it just shows you, like, you'd be surprised.
It's not even that long ago.
But yeah, the wine, and then guess what? People weren't just cracking them just because it was legal. There were people who just, like, going to town on them and all that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Wake up.
Nah, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean people just faggots. People are emotional. They don't, you know what I mean?
Reading on verse 5. Behold,
Because what was happening was in Ireland, right? Women were going to England or somewhere else in Europe to get abortions. Or America, they were trying to get places where they can get their abortions and that. So, that wine, abortions. Oh, I'm up for that. But when I watch Irish YouTube and I watch Irish telly, and you like going back in time when you're watching their shit. The things they're talking about, there's more human rights involved in their general conversations and in certain news and that. But it just shows you that there's, the wine, the less wine there is, the more scruples people have got, basically.
that's why it says it selleth nations through their order. Really, they're making it buying, like Americanization of the world, all this type of stuff. People buy into it, and then what happens to their population? They blow up, become fat and obese, slow-minded and all this type of stuff.
Sexual promiscuity.
Yeah. But I think it was you, Amon, you said about the guy that you met, Afghanistan, you said it earlier on. Yeah, about him saying that the Taliban took over and it's good. Like, so that when they go to their own culture, they're fine. But the moment they take on Esau and shit, it's witchcraft.
Democracy. The women don't wear veils.
Yeah.
You finish, I got a precept in them.
I got a bit more. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vow, and will set thee as a gameless. So that again goes into all this Alex Jones business, because it's like, what? The Heavenly Father's risen, they've been doing these works in the darkness for years. We're talking, even like you go into the whole order of Masonry, that goes back hundreds of years. They outline, this is something they've been doing for a very long time. And now we're at the end, and boom, everything's being shown. The Heavenly Father's committing to his prophecy.
Yeah, they've been doing alias acts for centuries, going back to Rome. To reincarnate the same spirits, reincarnate and do the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. The wicked. The wicked, as soon as they was born, they speak lies. It's the same devils. If Alexander the Greek comes back, he's not going to come back and become righteous, is he? He's the same person. So that's what. So they come back. Them Mason devils have been doing all sorts of shit for however long. How long these devils been doing this shit? There's all kind of accounts of the so-called Jews sacrificing. There was one report, and it was one of them, Jordan Maxwell, and one of them come out with how they eat liters of fat, like loads of fat. They'll get, because the Bible says you're not supposed to eat fat, you're supposed to burn it.
What was that, Alistair Crowley? That documentary, Alistair Crowley.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Where he said he was doing that because his spiritual power, anything the Bible
I
says.
think it was that as well.
Yeah, okay, same thing. Anything the Bible says don't do, they do. Get powerful.
Could have been, man, because I mean, that was
No precept when you're ready.
that's what they do. If the Bible says something, the cause of what they do is the opposite. Okay, adultery, breaking the Sabbath day, unholy days, all of that.